Okay, so some items to start with. I like to use Star San sanitizer. I have a bucket right beside me of sanitizer ready to go so I can dunk my equipment in there. I have a 1-gallon glass carboy along with a solid bung. I need to mix honey and water, so we're going to use this vessel to do the mixing in. Here is 1 gallon of water. This is just tap water that I've left out here for probably a day. I have 4 pounds of honey from my bees. I'm going to be using a funnel. Once we get the honey and water mixed, we may need to take a gravity reading. So this is a hydrometer. We have a turkey baster. So this is a 2.5 gallon fermenter. I have an airlock for the top. I'm actually going to try to write down my recipes. I never used to write down any of my mead recipes, but I got a pack of index cards here. I have a frame of wonky comb, but we have honey, we have dark comb, dark honey. These are all empty cells. There's no cells of pollen in there. But I'm going to crush this whole comb up and we're going to put it in the fermenter. I just figured that might be a neat thing to try. There is some of the flavor from the honey that comes from the wax. As far as nutrition in the wax, there's trace elements. I doubt there'd be anything significant to help the mead. Additional ingredients. I'm going to brew a bag of tea. This is just Black Newman's own organic tea. I do have some sun-made raisins here. I'm going to use some basic additives from my brew supply. We have some acid blend, again just to help with the mouthfeel. I have some yeast nutrition, again just to make sure the yeast has enough to eat on. And then along with the tea, I have some wine tannin chestnut extract. So this will just help with diversity of the tannins, but that's pretty much the layout that we're going to use for this basic mead recipe. The first step I want to do is I want to brew the tea. Okay, so in the tea I'm also going to add a Persian lime. This Persian lime came off of my fruit tree. The tree has a bunch of fruit on it, and some of these actually fell on the ground. So I'm just going to cut a couple of these up, and we're going to put them right in the tea. I'm also going to chop up these raisins, and I'm just going to chop up the raisins slightly, and I'm going to dump them in the tea as well. Okay, and so now we have our tea is brewing with a couple of small Persian limes along with a box of raisins. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to mix these 2 quarts of honey into this gallon carboy. We'll pour probably half of our water in there so we can shake it around, and we'll go from there. We have the primary fermenter set up here. Again, it's a 2.5 gallon fermenter, so I can add more liquid and more volume. We still have this cut honeycomb over here, this wonky comb. We're going to cut this up into little pieces and add that into here. And then let me empty this tea jar with all the raisins and the things. That'll go in here too. Okay folks, so now the next step is we're going to go ahead and we're going to hydrate our yeast. I'm using the Lalvin D47. On the back of every yeast packet, there's actually directions. We're going to use some hot water between 104 and 109 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and add it to the must.